Here we are on our 10th hole here at Wissahickon, par 3 again, 147 yards I've measured to here. Now, no matter what tees you play, back tees, you know, the 1s, the 2s, 3s, 4s, get your yardage to the center of the green, as I said in a previous video. Now, one of the features here, if you can pan down, is you can see there we got all the bunkering in the front of the green. One of the things when you get your yardage is you got to understand how far you hit your carry distance on your clubs. So I have 147 yards here on this par 3. I have to carry the ball at least 138 yards to get it to the front of the green. So if you're talking about maybe you hit a certain club a certain distance, you have to take into consideration, especially on our 3s, where you have to force the carry, what is your carry distance? I think all too often we see with players, they may say how far they hit a club, but that includes the roll distance, but their carry might be 15 yards less, 18 yards less. Well, if it's 18 yards less here, you're going to land it in a bunker. And remember, on a bunker shot like this, bunker's a little steeper. It may come in, it could come in and bury, especially with the type of club you're coming in here. So make sure you pick enough club to get the carry distance. Now, as I said in a previous video, I'm looking at the trouble here. You know, there's trouble on both sides, as there always is on par 3s, but there's more trouble on the left. So I'll get on the left side of the tee box and I'll favor more to the right-hand side if I'm going to miss. Always got to know your miss when you're out there. Also, I think that this particular par 3 plays pretty flat. It might even play a half a club more for whatever reason. I think because of the prevailing winds. So I would always make sure I take enough club. Now, this particular pin, and this brings up an interesting thing, is in the back of the green. I'm in between clubs right now, and one of the tips that I'll give players is whenever you have a pin that's in the back of the green and I'm in between clubs, I'll err towards taking more club, because when I take more club, I'll take more of a 3/4 swing, and that kicks the ball down a little bit, keeps it a little flatter, and kind of brings it a little bit lower into the green and releases back. If I hit the same yardage to a front pin, I might take the lesser of the clubs and hit it hard, really solid and aggressive. The reason being is because when you're swinging more aggressive through the ball, hit a little harder, the ball's going to tend to go higher, and with a front pin, you want the ball to come in nice and soft from a high trajectory. So again, I'm 147, I'm kind of in between, really hard 9-iron for me, or a baby 8 or 3/4 8. I took the 8. I also now have to take into consideration I have a little bit of wind into me. So this is actually going to be a pretty good shot, a nice little 3/4 8-iron. I'm aiming just to the right of the pin, which, you know, that'll favor the center of the green. Try to get my right yardage. Good swing, get my aim, right, set up, aim, and then make a good 3/4. And you can see there the trajectory. It's kind of keeping it low, down under the wind. And it's released back to the back of the green. Again, on all my par 3s, if you can figure out a way, get the right yardage and make a 3, it's going to help to save shots when you're out in your golf round. So, as I said from my tee shot, my ball ran to the back, and it's actually just off the green in the back into the rough. So, on this particular hole, we know on the 10th hole, green's pretty big. It breaks from back to front a little bit left to right. So I have a chip shot or a little bump and run. I've taken my gap wedge. Shot can be played with a number of different clubs, but the biggest thing is you want to get it onto the green and running out. The grass is growing into me a little bit, so one of the tips I'll say to people on chipping when the grass is growing into you is grip it a little tighter with your left hand so it allows the club to stay a little more firm coming through the shot. Ball's back in my stance. It's a little bit left to right. I'm going to firm up my left side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow the ball to feed down to the hole for the chip shot. Remember, on all your chip shots, make sure you're staying firm with your left hand and your left wrist through the shot, and that's going to help you to hit more crisp chips. Now, I left it in a spot here. I still got a little bit of putt left. Hit a good chip shot. Remember, I'll say this to everybody on par 3s, you want to make sure that you're trying to play them conservative, trying to make your par, and trying to get out. So I get a short putt. I still would go through my routine where I'd mark it, I'd put the ball down, because again, in the tournament, you're still going to have to make these putts in the tournament. So I have a little tap in from about 1.5 feet, 2 feet, go through the routine, and just make sure you stay steady so nothing crazy happens back and through. Again, anytime you're making the pars on the par 3s, take the pars, play to the center of the greens, and get out. And I'm telling you, if you're playing more conservative on the par threes and play more percentage, high percentages, you're going to shoot better scores.
Ready to go.
Here we are on the 15th hole here at Wissahickon. What a great, again, everybody that's played it, you know what it looks like. I mean, what a phenomenal view it is with the hill now on the right, the trees taken out, and it's just really created a totally different vibe out here on the hole. Here on the 2 tees, it's actually playing 217 to the hole right now, so the pin's in the middle. It's kind of middle right, and you can see here, this is just a shot that there's not much more to say, but other than you got to get the yardage, you got to get the distance. It plays pretty flat, maybe a half a club down for what it is, but either way, you just got to hit a golf shot. For me here, 217 would be one of my hybrids. This is the only other par threes that we have that where you have a front where you can run it up, so you have a little bit more as far as the carry distance. You don't need as much carry, let's just say, if you do hit a lower ball flight and you can release it up to the pin. Either way, though, you still got to hit a solid shot. The green entry is not that wide, so shots got to be pretty much on line. It's really protected well by the bunkers on both the right and the left of the green. So when looking at this hole, I think you got to pick your best shot shape. If you're a fader or if you're a drawer of the ball, trust your shot shape and hit it to the center of the green. You get anything here on the green, that's a great shot, and I think you try to get out, you get the 2 putts and you run. Anytime you make it 3 here on 15, it's a great hole. So what I've done is, probably thinking you didn't see John hit a tee shot on 15, because I wanted to come up here and drop the ball in the left bunker, because I think that's where a lot of the members may miss the shot to arrow away from the right side, which nothing good's on the right. So problem is that here we are in the right bunker, and, well, I'm sorry, the left bunker, and you can see here we got a high lip. I can't even barely see the flag from here. So you're talking about it's not an easy bunker shot to hit, but if you really trust your bunker technique and you play the shot, get it on the green and give yourself a chance at making a putt. So in hitting a higher bunker shot like this, either take your 60 degree if you have it, or your 56. If it's a 56, you want to turn the face open a little bit. The main thing you got to do here for this shot is you have to make sure, number one, you're getting a little bit more steeper with your backswing and your downswing, so more of a V-shaped type for a practice swing. But you want to make sure, if I give you a visual, it's more up and down or more V-shaped, and making sure that you're swinging through and accelerating. Again, I can't stress enough, in any type of bunker, really any type of shot in golf, you have to make sure you're accelerating through the ball coming through the shot. So I want to lean left, play the ball towards the front. I'm going to aim about an inch behind the ball. From here, I open the club face. I'm going to get a little bit more steeper, and I want to make sure that I'm swinging through to the finish. Anytime you're in a high lip bunker, get a little more V-shaped, swinging down and through. That'll get the ball up, and make sure you accelerate. Give yourself a chance. Put it on the green and give yourself a chance at a putt. Up and down. So I've left myself about 6 feet under the hole. This is a little bit of a left to right putt. So one of the tips that I try to help players with, when you do have a left to right putt, the majority of players, when they miss this, are going to miss this to the low side. Okay, so one of the things that I learned long ago is when I have a left to right putt, I'll move the ball just a fraction more forward in my stance, which gives the time for my club face and my club head to release just that split second longer to release, which then keeps the ball more on line. Again, just the opposite. For a right to left putt, I'll move the ball just a smidgen back in my stance. So a normal ball position's off my left heel. I'll put it just a little bit more forward in my stance, and from here, I'm aiming at the left edge. Make a good solid stroke, keep your head down, and hit the putt. When you're out playing golf are so pivotal in really maintaining the momentum in your round. If you can figure out a way to play these par threes conservative, to where you're grabbing your threes, at the most grabbing fours, and really I think it'll save your round. Par threes, a lot of times, are really difficult to birdie. You know, most people are going to birdie par fives or even short par fours. So the long par fours and the par threes, try to figure out a way to play the highest percentage shots, and I really think you're going to shoot lower scores. One last thing I wanted to say is I think we're so lucky to have the Wissahickon course in this restoration, and what Dan's done, his guys, and Keith, the vision he's had along with our leaders. I think once the members really get a grasp on a lot of the little new nuances that the course has, you're going to start shooting the scores that you're used to shooting. So remember, practice the techniques, know your shots, know your game, and you're going to